So this is going to be interesting. I am going to very quickly eat something, and hopefully then we'll get into the opal cutting. Yummy. Yeah. Hang on for a second. Right. I've decided that the 11th commandment is it's okay to eat chicken with your fingers. Nom nom. Right. Now, you might think that this is a little bit uncouth of me. Maybe it is. But hey. What? What are you looking at? You should see the look of expectation. I'll turn around. That's Max. He wants stuff. In the fridge stuff. And I did call you down for dinner. When? We're in the shower. Nom nom nom. Fair enough. Okay. I know. Hang on. Okay. Right. This might seem a little bit strange. There you go. Nom. Here you go, Loki. Now, yeah, you take that bit. Here's something weird to think about. Cockatoos are omnivorous. They're not just seed eaters. They can eat meat quite easily. And if you're wondering, gee, they're eating chicken. A, they love chicken just like we do, and B, believe it or not, a cockatoo is related to a chicken about as much as I'm related to a brontosaurus. So it's perfectly all right. Nom nom nom, nom nom nom, nom 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 nom. Now, Tony, would you like some too? I suppose you would. Got some left here. Nom.
Does it ever make you weird how you realize like what we're eating was once a life? This was once chicken that was, fucking around.
Nom 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 nom. Nom nom nom. I'll pop this in your food bowl. How about that? I think Pony actually wants a little bit of affection. You want some affection? No. Right. Oh, thank you for the like, whoever did that. Now, we are going to pivot somewhat from the pop this over here. Right. Doing an intricate dance here. Right. You see, my daughter said, I don't want to be on the camera. I said, fine, you don't. No, you're not on the camera. Nom. She's a bit... Nah. Okay. So, the story as we have it. We go out here. We have... Oh, I've been forging. You don't need to worry about that. So, I've got this one here. I'll turn it around for you. So, that's it. This one I'm interested in. Let's give it a bit of a burl on this machine. Just because it's interesting. How do we do this? About there. I'm still trying to work out the exact angles to put everything. We'll get there eventually. Where's that? Sorry, I'm just trying to... Okay, so... Oh, okay, I see. Right. So let's do that. And then we'll turn on the water here. Water. Right. And then we'll turn on the machine. Now until the water starts dripping, we'll have to just give it a bit of additional wateration. I came up with that word, wateration. What do you think? What was that? Right. Over here. Right. Over here. That's better. There we go. Water is on. Yay! Probably can't see the water's on, but the water's on. Okay, let's go. You know what I can do? There we go. Make things life a little bit easier. Go this side so you can actually see. Yeah, turn on an extra little bit. Okay. Hello there. Yo. What you doing? I know, what are you doing? We're cutting some opals. This is a opal from Kurapiti, and it's quite an unusual one, and so I'm polishing it by hand. Normally by this stage we're putting them onto little sticks like this one. That's a dop stick. But this one's a little bit large, and also it's a little bit mysterious. So I'm doing it a bit differently. I'm just flattening this bad boy out. There we go. Not too bad. Zoom in a bit. Very interesting pattern, this one. Called the picture stone. I also think there's precious opal just in there somewhere, so we'll just keep going and see what we can get. Giving it some tough love at the moment. I'll show you what that tough love looks like. back to the other ones. Forgot about that. What I'll do is I'll move this up a bit so you can see better. Perfect. Now cinematic. Water drips are functioning as I was expecting them to have functioned. Scrubbing the block. There we go. Alright. Sorry about that. Hopefully that gets the water. No, the water ain't running. Has that got the water running? No. Oh, I see. Gotta be just right. Goldilocks water. Is it working? No, it's not. Oh well. I just have to use the old-fashioned method and dip it. Fortunately, I've got a second layer of defence here, in that there's a flow of air which is actually going sideways, so the dust never actually gets to me. Oops, I'm singing to myself, sorry guys. Oh, I heard something about it. Nice. It's okay. Just very carefully, just give it a bit of love on that larger wheel, just because I can. No, it's not because I can. It's because I'm just still worried about the overall shape. And it is annoying if you end up going back to a higher wheel, because technically you've undone all the good work you've done, but in some ways, no, that's not the truth either. So I'm just looking at the concavity of this one. That's why I'm doing this in the first place. Whoops, sorry. Well, that's a bit better. What we'll do is we'll pop it onto the slightly awesomer sandpaper and we'll see what it looks like. That's how we do it properly. So let's see what it's going to look like. So it's got a little bit of ink behind it. Quite nice. Let's go and get some real awesome gems done now. Good. Alright, so here's the state of play at the moment. I suspect that this particular drill bit is a bit dodged because of the actual shaft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look and see if I can spot a shaft. And if I can, I'm going to replace. Handy dandy toolkit. A handy dandy spare shaft. Got a burr. Got all sorts of weird and wonderful things, but don't have a shaft. Okay. Let's see if I can find another one. Whenever I go live, I forget that I've actually got an issue with my equipment sometimes, so I do apologise for this. Right, found myself a shaft, so there's also a collet here, which is very good, but we're not going to worry about that at the moment. Final thing, grabbeth the screwdriver. Final thing, grabbeth the other screwdriver, because this is not one that's going to work. There it is. Excellent. And after that happened, I found the other one, but that doesn't matter. We will continue. That's just a little bit too loose in there. I think it could be the screw that's on it, but we'll see. don't know why I've got that song in my head. It is Sunday around here, so maybe easy like Sunday morning is a pretty much a go-to. But you don't know. There we go. That's the other thing. I think the thing is a bit too jammed. Let's just quickly take this out and we'll try and lube it up. Try and make it. Sounds rude, I know, but it's not. This came out, so put that back in. Yoink. There we go. These things have developed a little bit of a personality since. Seems to be a bit grabby. Should be a pair of pliers here. Oh, there they are. Grab the pliers. Open the pliers. And then grab the thing and put it the thing, yeah? You are stuck tight. Oh, look at that. Okay, there's something stuck in it. No wonder. No, not like that. Okay, I'm going to find a quick compound that I can throw into it so that it'll lube it up a bit, because that's the problem. Alright, with two pairs of pliers I was able to free our little device, but I'm wondering whether it's actually the collet itself that's the problem. Let's have a look. Let's pull that out. Any issues with the collet itself? Don't think so. Might just be a slightly different shaft size that's caused a few issues. So what we'll do is we'll swap around. There we go. Pop that in. Pop that in. All right. Pliers away. In you go. That's where I sort stuff out. Here we go. In. Perfect. Being very careful not to lose the fastening screw, because that will represent a very bad day for me. Okay, so what I've also made a note of is the fact that the this is not behaving itself. That's fine. There's no requirement to behave itself. What I'll do is I'll very quickly pop this in so that we've at least got this in. Right. got to make sure that the right, so that one's not going to go in with the collet, which is not exactly what I had in mind for this show, but oh well. Beggars cannot be choosers. No, they cannot. Okay, so I've got another collet here, and I'm just quickly checking my options because this one had a stuck blade, and that's why we had to retire that one. And I can just very quickly rejuvenate it. Right, does that work? Right, let's try that. And is that going to work now? Come on, work it, darn thing. That's right, I called it a darn thing. Ugh. Being my own version of a torque drill, which I might have to change up a little. Give me 1 second whilst I go and grab another thing, which is exactly what I wanted for this show. So basically I've got a drill out. I've got a specially designed area down here which I can do special modified repairs to my tool. And just quickly, it's not worth the no, it's a bird. So let's try this out. No, not that. So we're going to have to use this one then. It's not my favourite choice, but don't have many options left. So let's try and make sure this is as well done as possible, and hopefully we won't have any further problems. But I mean, considering the epic difficulties that we've had thus far, can't guarantee you anything really. Should have just done some nuclear physics or the crisis in cosmology or how to make gold out of nothing, because maybe that would have been an easier topic for today. Never mind. Yeah, I think it's got something to do with the with the actual screws I'm putting into the blade. But we'll see if I can make it work just by, well, they say if you aren't using brute force, what is it? If you're using brute force and it's not working, then you're not using enough of it, something like that. come on. I've done the hard bit. The easy bit's just getting it out of the timber. Not if you've drilled it in so far. This has just been one struggle after another today. My goodness. Well, this particular blade will have some fairly interesting properties after this. I've absolutely jammed it in, and then I've bent it on the way out. So I'm just bending it back. Not only that, it's still moving in the carriage. That's a bit annoying. Let's try and fix that up. I think I know what the issue is. This particular shaft is not good. I didn't realise I was lacking in this particular item. So interesting. Right, let's try this one. Seeing you're all ready to go and stuff. I have to use a new blade because I think the blade I just had was cactus. So let's pop that on, pop this on, pop that on. Excellent. Come on, we can do it. There we go. Wow, this has been struggle street. That's much better. That's much better. Much better. Fits on quite nicely. I'm going to use the pliers and the drill. I'm not going to bother trying to use the timber again because I don't want to get stuck like it was last time. Okay. Here we go. Good. Perfect. Finally, honestly. That was a bit of a nightmare. But we got there in the end. Excellent. So back on we go. And time to just try and put everything back together. Right. Much better. Honestly. It's weird how sometimes things just have a great deal of difficulty coming together. And then when you have a slightly different variable, all of a sudden it just clicks sweetly. Very weird. But that doesn't matter. We've got it done. Yay! Claps to me. Now, let's turn this water on and get things going before something tragic happens. Finally, we're going to work on this piece today because this one we didn't have time to work on yesterday. Are you joking? Never rains but pours. Now the reason I'm doing this is definitely not because I want to. There's a crack along it. And that was precisely where I didn't want there to be issues. But I can actually see that there's a silver lining here, so we'll just head for there. Now, I'm using a specialised opal cutting technique called Hoping This Works. Basically, I noticed that there is an angle here. I'll grab the light so you can see. Zoom in a bit. So you can see that just underneath there, that blue section, there's actually a little bit of colour. So what I'm hoping is, we'll just flip it around. What I'm hoping is that we'll be able to get that colour out just by cutting along that angle. So hopefully we win. Even if not, it's good drama, so enjoy. If I was a dramatic kind of fellow, this is the point where we put the dramatic music in. So I'll add it. Bom, da bom, bom, dum, ba dum, dum, ba dum. Jumping up, well it's a jumping up, bum, da bum, ba dum, bum. So what are we going to get here? We've got a bit of colour here. Can we translate it basically? We might be able to. There's a little bit of colour translation happening here. It's good. So what you're seeing here is the trickiest part of opal cup cutting. It's the bit where you have a chunk of colour and you know that there's a certain angle that will probably get that colour to happen. And you have to either do a bit of experimentation, try and find that angle, or sometimes even guess. That's perfectly legitimate in these circumstances. The other issue that I've got at the moment is trying to make the irregular shape of the opal work for me, because I'm guessing that there is actually a little bit of colour just here. So I've got to be careful and conservative with that colour actually is. Try and maintain that colour at all times, but also I've got to maintain the shape of the opal and actually end up with a nice opal shape. If we're lucky, it might be heart-shaped, but if we're not lucky, well, it won't be heart-shaped. It'll be more, disaster-shaped, really. in these circumstances, it's really hard to figure out whether it's good to have some kind of colour to chase, or better off having no colour at all so it doesn't shatter your dreams if it all goes wrong. I think that's a better angle for you too. Now what I'm noticing is this blue is starting to come through, so we're winning a little bit. Trouble is, of course, there is a fine line between winning and losing, and if we don't consolidate our gains soon, we'll probably end up losing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very gently carve this into a triangle. That gives us a hint because there's actually a little bit of blue that extends further into that section, so that's going to give us some leeway, which is good. We can't expect similar joy from this side though, so we've just got to work with it. The good news about that is that you can sort of carve that bit off with a little bit less conscience now, because it's not behaving as well as you want it to, so goodbye. So I'm seeing something of how the colour actually evolves in this particular opal. You can see there's actually two little lines of colour that are happening, and one of those lines is actually resulting in a nice bit of iridescent blue at the front of the opal. So it's an interesting little study in how opalescence works. More importantly, maybe we can get a nice opal out of it. I think one of the most important tenets of opal cutting is to not give up on the opal, no matter how small it gets. Temptation is to, because sometimes you're just going, oh, can't I just... No, you can't, basically. I think that's the limit of the cutting that I want to do with it. This is going to go onto a dop stick now, and that'll be shined up. It won't be too bad. I think I'll call it a Spider-Man opal. It kind of looks like Spider-Man. It looks like a blue Spider-Man. It's got a little bit of epic colour, so hopefully in the dopping and cutting process, maybe the final version will be quite iridescent. There's always that hope. Yeah, it's not a bad stone. It's just not a fantastic stone. I'll put that one as a tentative success. Just quickly checking some of these offcuts that came off it. Certainly doesn't hurt to double check your offcuts, because sometimes something weird happens or something good happens. Well, wasn't going anywhere, so that's fine. Right, so this is an interesting one. This is one that I declared to have no colour last night, and it clearly does have colour. So I'll just quickly take the back of it and see if we can bring out more of that colour. Right. So I suspect that whatever this is, where's our colour? Right there, okay. Let's try and first settle where that colour is actually potentially going. I have an idea because basically colours very often follow the cracks. That's one of the other reasons why I'm not particularly sold on the sphere theory. Right. So where is that colour? It's there. And there's literally, I can, oh my goodness. Okay. Let's try cutting here. Yeah, that went very deep, that crack. Look at that. Now, the reason why I cut it right there was because there's a chance that I might be able to redeem that crack and then turn this into a colourful opal. If I manage that, it would be a work of superlative skill, because there's still a crack running deep in there and I have to somehow eviscerate it, because there is no way a high quality opal would have a crack in it. I can see another crack here. Not fatal, but getting there. So the divinals have just come onto my brain because there's a fine line between pleasure and pain. Fair enough. Another crack. Oh my goodness. It was just cracked from beginning to end. I'm not going to finish that one off because there were a lot of cracks in it. Let's just get this one finished. This is another offcut from the other one. This piece here, you can see is most likely a crack. I'm just having a look now. Okay. Right, I'm seeing that, which is probably, will I be able to get through there before? Yes, I can. But can I get through there here? Cutting opals requires a certain amount of stoicism, because the opals were either meant to be or not. Yeah, that one, the fault line just runs a bit too deep, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's carve the stand off of this one and see what we get. There's some colour here. Trouble is it might be a bit too high. Got to get it down to the rest of the opal's level. But depending how the colour resolves, we'll deal with the situation organically. I suspect it's this turbulent underside that is giving us a chance at colour. I've noticed that pretty much most opals that I see have some kind of evidence of violence on them. Not domestic violence or anything, but just upheaval in their geology. I don't think it's a coincidence. Very often there's two orientations, i.e. it settled one way and then it got picked up and had to settle another. Very often they're found in structures called blows, which I think very closely match another structure called a turbidite, which is essentially, well, a disrupted seafloor as a result of an earthquake or a tsunami or something really big. Hello there, Riverwheel. Yeah, it's been a while because I've been, well, doing things. I've been working and I've had various other issues that I've had to deal with recently. But I'm back and I'm bad. I'm not finishing that rhyme. It's just all the Australian tariffs that have gone on to... No, I'm just joking. One day I'll show you... Whoop. Sorry about this, just cutting this bit off rather than polishing it off, just in case there is no underside, which looks increasingly like there is not of done words. Right, that's a fracture. Precisely. I think the fracture goes up that way, but never mind. Thought so. Angled fracture line. Maybe I could have salvaged it if I'd have known that a bit earlier, but I don't think it's salvageable now. There's another fracture line just here. We'll angle it this way to see if we can spot which way the fracture line actually goes, because this is quite the deceptive little critter, this. Yeah, interesting piece, if you mean by cracking up. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a good look to some of these pieces from behind and see if we can spot the colours. Nope. Ooh, there's something. Alright, okay. See if you can spot this. I'll zoom in and see if we can get it. Where was it? I'm just going to have to find it first. There it is, right. See if we can get it. There it is, can you see that? So that's what we're aiming for. We're going to try and get this one. Basically, it's a piece of colour that's running across that section there. So let's see if it... First things first, we'll see if it maintains its colour if we cut it across this angle. Here goes nothing. Just gradually bringing these edges in to try and minimise the shock to the opal itself. Because yes, that matters. Can we get it to shine any more than we just did? Maybe not. See, sometimes these things are directional, and no matter how much you wish upon a star, you can't change the direction. And if it's the direction of the cut, well, it's too bad. The good news is I can hear the sound which I consider to be good opal cutting sound. Let's spot that. Yep, good. Right. Now the interesting thing about this particular opal is that the colour, I'm reasonably certain, is caused by a healed crack. Now the question you have to ask is, how healed is that crack? That wasn't healed at all. So I have to take that off. If we take this off, that might actually ruin the entire basis for the colour. So it's a risky move. I think we can get away with it if we remove this bit here and have a look at how far along that crack goes. Yeah, pretty dodgy. Right. So let's try very carefully to carve around that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to get this opal to behave. Oh, look at that. Brilliant. That was great. So let's just very carefully carve along here. Anywhere? Maybe. There's still a risk that this crack is going to ruin everything. But there's some colour here, so quite a tricky opal. Not impossible, but certainly difficult. Okay, because of that, I have an idea. See if this idea will come to fruition. Yes. Hopefully, anyway. Look at that. Deep in the guts of that opal, this is a scar that is actually causing the colour to happen. So I have to take this scar out. The risk is once that scar's gone, the colour might be gone. So we'll just see. This might just be a curiosity piece. See that little hole in the middle? Okay. We'll see if we can get any colour to happen, but basically wherever there was damage, that's where the colour was. Sometimes that happens. I think slightest of colours maybe. I think that we've just exhausted all options with that one. This particular Opal has got a few colour options on it, so let's see what we can do with that. First things first, I want to have a look at this crack here and see what that crack is doing. And let me tell you something, you don't get good at cutting opals by cutting the good ones. You get good by cutting the bad ones. And although you never hope that it happens, making a mistake or two is quite good for the learning process. What was that? Yeah. So basically I think I'll have a look at this one in the morning, because I think it's got a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shine, but mostly no. If there's something really good that I see in the morning, I will continue the cut, but otherwise, no. We should have plenty in here anyway. Just doesn't look like we've got plenty in here. Right. This one. Basically, we're hunting down the Magnum Opal now. And we will find one. Nope. Let's have a look at this one here. Don't think so. Look at this one here. Nope. This one, yeah. Here we go. This one. Let's see what this one does. No, it doesn't look like much, but you wait. Here it comes. Just start with this side. There it is. Now this particular opal has got a few characteristics that I'll explain in a minute, which is a bit awesome, going on amazing, cool. Now, I'm not going to say this opal's unique, but it is pretty interesting, and the way that the colours come together are pretty rare. So I'll show it to you in a sec. So let's bring this up. We'll zoom in a bit. So it looks interesting like that, yes. But let's dial the interesting up even more. All of a sudden we've got a piece that's just absolutely out of this world. This guy, I'm putting it onto a dop stick, and it's one of these ones that you don't see very often, but wow, is it good. So there you go. I'm glad that happened, because it was getting a bit annoying. Turning that off and turning that off. This guy's going to get dopped pretty much immediately, I reckon. Pop it over to the dopping station. And by dopping station, I mean stove. I had a chat with a guy from the Laboratory Club, and he said, "Do you dop all your opals on the stove?" And I'm like, "Well, most of them." There we go. Yoink. Hey guys. Lucky. Back to Baba Pony. Right. Introduction's out of the way, so flip over to here so I can see what I'm doing. Yoink. Have we got heat that one can see? Yep, we certainly do. What I'm just doing at the moment is drying the opal. So those of you who don't know what dopping is, it's a procedure of basically putting an opal on a stick. Very much like a toffee apple, except with an opal. I think that's the worst analogy ever, but who cares? I'm just trying to find out which is the shiny side now. Hang on. Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay, that's the shiny side. Bit cack-handed on the cutting of it, but that's alright, we can work at that. So what I'm doing is I'm actually roasting it very much like you would a marshmallow. The reason being is that it won't stay on unless we manage the moisture. Kumbaya, opal, kumbaya, kumbaya, opal, kumbaya, oh, kumbaya. Kumbaya. I think the marshmallows are ready. No, they are not, my good friends. They are not. You need to control the moisture on the marshmallows. Here we go. Do it once again. Just try and make sure that we're really hitting the moisture. And I'm taking it off the dot because there's no point in getting the moisture off. It's just going to stay inside the wax. And what I mean by inside the wax is that, look, I'm not sure how it works, but I think it works like this, that there is a kind of a pressure force, very much like a suction cup on the opal. And if you have water vapor come out of the water from the opal into the wax, then that's a pushing force that like blows the opal off the dop stick. So you've got to get all of the water away so it doesn't evaporate and cause that kind of havoc. That's what I think happens. I've talked to various other people and everyone has their own theories, so that's my theory, but don't necessarily say that's how it all is going to go. Right. There we go. So I've popped that onto the top stick. It's mostly okay. Let's go say hello to the birds. Ah. Right. Maxi Baba, would you like a scratchy poo? Scratchy poo? Yeah, scratchy poo. What? I was about to let you out. I was about to let you out and you had a bit of a bitey bite. Okay, well, we'll let you think about that. Hey, Loki. Now, Loki's been an interesting case these last few days. It's been a bit busy, a bit stressful, and I noticed that she's plucked her leg, which is not good. But hopefully that'll sort itself out once we make things normal again. Got to make sure that these birds regimes are 100% normal, or else you run into problems. You know that whole biting at me thing? Loki's loving these. There you go. What's that, huh? Nice bit of a scratchy poo. So what I've done with these birds is I've kind of trained them to not make loud noises, sort of. Occasionally they will make loud noises. Amusingly, it's usually in the frequency that I've kind of encouraged. Oh, look at Max. Max is just sitting there going, come on, please, 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 please. Max, Loki, I'll be back. Max is being cute. Yoik. I know what you want. You want out. All you have to do is just be a little bit less angry. Okay? Stop with the anger. I'm going to let you out. You just need to be patient, okay? Just a bit of patience. Sketchy poo? Yeah, sketchy poo. Yeah. Okay, that's going to get you a closed door. He's being a little bit two-toned today, isn't he? No, well. Ooh. What's going on, my friend? What's going on? Oh, it's my jacket. Hang on. Hang on. I forgot. Now, it's quite cold. Well, by Australian standards anyway, it's quite cold. But it doesn't matter. Max does not like my jacket. Is that the problem? Is that the problem? There you go. Let's see how we go now. Are we feeling better now? Come here. Come here. I'm absolutely freezing cold now, mate. Come on. Good bird. Good bird. Come on. Come on. No. Now we get. I'll let him out in the morning when he's not in such a snit, but I'll give him some treats anyway because, listen, sometimes you just want to be, cranky. If you've ever been in a situation where you just want to lash out the world, that's where Max is at the moment. And over here in Australia, in Sydney, wherever we are here at the moment, I reckon agency basically means you have the right to have the odd tantrum. So I'm certainly not going to, scratch Max or anything, but I am going to let Max have some food. And these are like bird candy. Yeah, you can have some seeds. Is that all right? He's like, well, I tried to bite him. He didn't understand what I meant by that, but at least he gave me some sunflower seeds. Loki, you know the drill, don't you? Crunch, 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 crunch. Oh, yeah. Now, Loki is a little bit more compliant, so a bit easier for her. And Max's backstory is that he was an abused bird, so it's harder to... you can't just sit there and be angry with Max because Max has tried his best. There we go, Pony. Now, Pony is the pigeon that had a sore leg, and she is actually doing quite well now. So that's good. Do you want to go splat? Let's go splat. Birdie, 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 birdie. Just careful. Here we go. Whoop, gotcha. Here we go. Whoop, splat. So, that's pretty much how we end it all the time, with the pony splat. She's quite happy to be here. Do you have anything to say? It's all right. Okay. Well, at any rate, that's the end of things. I've been Dr. Phil, obviously. Like and subscribe on your way out if you enjoyed what you've seen. The birds are eating. I'll probably eat something too. Have a nice afternoon. Dr. Phil out.